I stand before you now, beneath the shadows of the great oaks in Endor, where the winds are heavy with whispers of the past. My heart still trembles from the events that transpired on that fateful night. My name is Achish, a mere traveler who bore witness to the unthinkable. My tale begins not with my own desires or fears, but with a king whose spirit was consumed by turmoil. His name was Saul, the anointed of God, yet he was a man lost beneath the weight of his crown. Saul had once known the favor of the Almighty, having led our people with courage against the relentless Philistine foe. But time, that cruel mistress, had turned the hearts of the people against him, and he was devoured by paranoia and despair. The Spirit of God, which once guided him, had departed, leaving him a hollow shell tormented by the specter of his own failures. He wandered through his days in anguish, seeking counsel from no one, as the prophets that had once stood by him fell silent. As the armies of the Philistines swarmed like bees to honey, Saul found himself ensnared in a web of fear. His once unshakable faith succumbed to desperation, and so, in an act of betrayal against his own beliefs, he turned to seek forbidden wisdom. My breath caught as he approached the very edge of darkness, a place where the living dare not tread, the home of the witch of Endor. I had heard tales of her, a woman whispered about in fearful tones, her power lurking like a serpent in the shadows. The moon hung low that night, casting an eerie glow that painted the world in shades of fear. I was drawn, against my better judgment, to observe the proceedings from my hidden vantage. The air crackled with an anticipation that sent shivers down my spine as I saw Saul, cloaked in disguise, trembling in a mixture of disbelief and longing. Here was a king, reduced to a man searching for answers among the deceitful arts. How far this man had fallen! With quavering words, he called upon the witch, his voice a mere shadow of its former authority. "Bring forth Samuel," he implored, the name of the prophet hanging heavy in the air. The witch, a figure wrapped in mystery, hesitated, sensing the weight of his request. It was a moment that would echo through the annals of history. Would the prophet rise from the depths of the abyss? What truth would he unveil? The answers lay just within reach, yet pulsating with atrocity too great for a vulnerable heart to bear. As the ground quivered beneath our feet, the veil between worlds began to lift. A dark shape emerged from the shadows, flickering like a candle caught in the breeze. The witch's incantations wove through the air, thickening with each breath we took. And then, with a surge of unearthly power, the apparition of Samuel, once a beacon of wisdom, materialized, his form shimmering like distant stars. The moment hung between disbelief and dread, a space where time felt suspended. Saul fell to his knees, desperation etched onto his face. "Samuel, why have you come to me? Why have you forsaken me?" he cried, his voice trembling with the weight of his guilt and anguish. "What do you seek of me, Saul?" The apparition's voice echoed, deep and somber, resonating not just in the air but in the depths of one's very soul. It pierced through the veil of deception, revealing the raw edges of a man unraveling. The spirit of the prophet stood tall, but his eyes bore the sorrow of what had been lost: faith, kingship, and honor. Saul, trembling, spilled forth his fears, a king cornered, plagued by the approach of his enemies. The Philistines were on the cusp of victory, his fate hanging by a fragile thread. He begged for guidance, a glimmer of hope amidst the encroaching shadows. Yet Samuel's response was a solemn tolling of fate, each word like a strike of a funeral bell. "The Lord has departed from you, Saul. His spirit is no longer with you. Tomorrow you will join me in death, and Israel shall fall." Silence enveloped the glade, thick and suffocating. The earth beneath me felt alive, pulsing in rhythm with Saul's heart, a tumultuous storm of regret crashing within him. Would this prophetic revelation shatter the remnants of his already fragile mind? Would he accept his fate, or attempt to wield power that had long since slipped from his grasp? In that fateful moment, Saul was no longer just a king. He became a tragic hero, adorned with the scars of his choices, sculpted by the heavy hand of destiny. His unyielding pursuit of answers led him inevitably to this confrontation with his own mortality and failures. As he stumbled back from the witch and the apparition, I pondered the lesson resonating in my very being. We are often ensnared by our own fears, blinded by the need for answers that might not yield the solace we hope for. Saul's desperation had led him to truths he wished he had avoided, revealing the profound depths of human frailty. As they faded from my view, swallowed by the shadows of the night, I emerged from my hiding place, troubled but enlightened. In their wake, I grasped that true strength lies not in the crown we wear or the power we wield, but in our ability to confront our fears and accept the truths we find, no matter how painful.